Hello, everyone. I was going to say good morning. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see me and hear me, please? I'll wait for that and then we shall begin. Okay, thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. Yep. Thank you, everyone. Okay, let's see who's here. I'm not going to read down through everyone's comment, but I will say hello, and just if some of them need a comment, I will do that. Richard was here, said, I will watch the replay. I have a former commitment. Thank you, Richard. Good morning, says Giovanna. Dorothy Sabal says she'll catch the replay. She does look forward to them. Well, whatever you're doing, you just have fun, Dorothy. Barb said good morning. Her husband had a heart procedure, is recovering nicely. That is wonderful to hear. We're glad you're here. You're probably tired, Barb. Kathleen Kendall says good morning, and it's a rainy day and 70 degrees in Unity, Maine. She's working on gifts for the family for upcoming birthdays and Christmases. Let's see, Melanie Taylor is here. Terry is here. Hopefully I'm getting everyone here. I want to say hello to everyone. Okay, so hello, Giovanna. Hi, Gisela from Sweden. She's saying hello to everyone here. And Lori from Quilting in the Country is here. Let's see. Kathleen says she's sewing tote bags, wallets, book sleeves, and looking into sewing some duffel bags for the guys. Awesome. G&B Gayla says hello. Good to have you here. Kathy Quilts and Crafts is here. Good to see you. Katie Crafts is here. Cherry from My Quilting World says good morning. Yo, Patty G is here. Good morning to you, or good noontime to you, whatever time it is where you are. Peggy Lee says good morning from a hot Las Vegas where it's 113 degrees. My goodness. Mary Wilson says hello. Fern King says good morning. And if I missed anyone, I do apologize. I have not felt well for days, and when I got up this morning, I could have said, I don't think I'm going to make the live stream, but I'll tell you, what a difference a medication can make. But no, I was feeling a whole lot better anyway, but that just really helped. And so, yeah. Now, I was going to mention it, but since Patty is right here in the chat right now, I'll mention it now. You guys may remember that I've told you over the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, that I was having difficulty getting her prize to her. And the last hurdle we had is that UPS lost the package. So imagine my surprise when I go and I check the tracking. I don't know what day it was, but last week. And it had been delivered. Now, UPS was supposed to email me and or text message me. They did neither, but they got it there, so I'm happy with that. I really am very happy with that. Hi, Lisa. So good afternoon to you from northern Maine. When I checked earlier to see what the temperature was going to be around noontime, it told me 70 degrees. Well, it is now 77 degrees. So I know that 70 is around 21 Celsius, but I don't know what 77 is. You'll have to do the math. That's not my strong suit. So thank you to my admins. As you know, these girls rock and roll. They really make it happen, and we just adore them, and we think that what they do is awesome. So thank you, ladies. Also, I'd like to thank Kimberly from My Fabric Addiction. Her link is down below in the description box. It is myfabricaddiction.com, and she sponsors our weekly fabric giveaway, and that is for residents of the U.S. only due to postal costs, as I'm sure you understand. But thank you to Kimberly for that. She's fantastic. She gives away a great prize. Quality fabric, lots of it. It's wonderful. So if you're new here and you don't know how to get in the running to possibly win that, you use the word fabric in your comment, not here in the live stream chat, but in your comment for after watching this video. You just use the word fabric. Now the rules state that it has to have been 90 days since you last won something from my channel, as well as you have to be in the continental United States. Okay, my other contests, you don't have to be right in the States. But hi Janice. Janice Cahill is here, 75 where she is, and raining, and that makes it a great day to sew. I agree. Gisela said, Marie, I sew in inches, but I have to convert to metric every time. I have a metric acrylic ruler because I see so many patterns that are done in metric, and I wanted to do it, and I thought I bought one of the long ones, so I didn't. I bought the whole thing, so I haven't gone back to try it again. Oh my goodness, 86 in southern Indiana, says Fern. 25 degrees Celsius. Thank you very much for the conversion. I think that was Giovanna. Hi Melanie, if I didn't say so before, I apologize. But I think I have touched on everyone here. Lisa said she went outside around 9 a.m. and it was a sauna. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Michelle the Quilter. She says, hello, Marie and friends. 79 here in central New York. Supposed to get very hot. Yeah, Giovanna says it's 86 Fahrenheit where she is in Italy. Hi, Tootie. She is here, and good morning from sunny and hot Chester, Virginia, just south of Richmond, where we're glad you're here. Helen Santana is here. We haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. She says, well, hello, everyone. Long time no see. How are you doing, Marie? I am trying to do better. That's that. Trying to do better. Okay. All right. Next thing. So, while we were just talking before I went to the chat about thanking the mods, thanking Kimberly from My Fabric Addiction, but you know, you guys, I don't really sell things on here, and I don't do that sort of things, but I do like to bring up if there's a sale. So I forget which one, but one of my recent live streams at the tail end, I think it was Terry that mentioned in the chat that My Fabric Addiction had a sale going on. So in the chat, everybody was saying, okay, when we leave here, we're going to go running over there. And, you know, there was some great deals to be had. So I noticed while I was on the My Fabric Addiction website this morning that she has a tab called Steals and Deals. Now, I knew the tab was there, but I always like to click on it. So I did. And don't quote me, but let's say there was a jelly roll that was normally $34.99. It's now $20.99 or something like that. Anyway, 25% off, okay? Anything on that page for steals and deals. So just in case you guys were interested, it is also linked down below in the description box, also known as the show notes. I had to get that in there for Lisa's sake. Okay, let's see. Terry says usually a tape measure has metric on the back, easy peasy. Well, that's true, but when you're using an acrylic ruler and you're cutting by inches and then you want to cut by metric, I definitely need metric. I definitely need the conversion. Lisa said it's 79 degrees near Muncie, Indiana. So there's a lot of heat out there. Terry said, yes, she had the buy one, get one quilt kits. I thought it was quilt kits. Thank you so much for the clarification, Terry. Yeah, and Terry, thank you very much. She just dropped the link to the Steals and Deals, so you can check that out from here, or later on from the link below. Thank you, Terry. Okay, so I have a question later on. It's not an important question. It's just a question. I had spoken with a friend recently, and she asked me why I do a certain thing, and I thought, well, I can't be the only one who does this, so I'm going to ask you about that later on in the live stream. For now, we'll stick with my list and we'll go with it. You may remember, I think it was June 9th, I was working on this Minnie Mouse bag. You can tell I haven't been back in the sewing room much. Let me get this ready to show you. It was inside out. Anyway, it's going to be a heart on both sides. This is the lining. I'm sorry if I'm freezing. I don't know what's going on all of a sudden with my streaming. I haven't changed anything. But anyway, inside the lining, I have a little pocket. The straps are in there. And I had this sewn together. I'm just going to stick that in there. After my live stream sewing chat, I thought I'm going to finish that bag up that I started. So, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, I sat down. I was all in the mood to sew, and I put the two pieces together. Now, how many bags have I made? Seriously, I know how they go together. You put right sides facing, so if this is out, you're going to put it with the good part of the lining touching this. But did I do that? Of course I didn't. I sewed around there. Yeah. Wrong. So I had to sit and unpick that. So I need to get back to that. But speaking of sewing, I have totally lost my mojo. Okay? I was supposed to drop a tutorial. I told you guys I was going to drop a tutorial on Sunday, and I didn't do that. Because late last week, it was one thing, it was another thing, it was this, it was that, and I didn't get it done because I'd have had to film it, you know, make it the whole thing, edit the video, and put it up, and I didn't get it done. But I got thinking, you know, it was a rough winter for me, and as you guys know, my mom had been really sick throughout the fall and the winter, and I had a lot going on, and I do mean a lot going on all winter, all spring. It's crazy, and I kind of got out of the habit of doing those. So now, not only do I want my sewing mojo back, I want my tutorial mojo back. And I can't tell you how many ideas I have for YouTube shorts that would be fun. But I haven't done those either. And I think they've changed them now. They don't have to be 1 minute. You can make them longer. I think it's up to 3 minutes. So I kind of made a list to chat with you guys about, because I know that I'm not the only one who has lost their sewing mojo before. It has happened to other people. So I had the ideas for making up the YouTube shorts, because it's not a full tutorial. It's just kind of a, you know, in the water kind of thing. And then I thought, I have been wanting to forever make curtains for my sewing room. These green sheer curtains that are up were something that were left over, and I apologize for the butching. They were something that were left from when our granddaughter lived here. They were in her bedroom. I put them in here before I planned to film in here. They don't go with anything. They're just kind of hanging there, as some curtains do. But anyway, I've been wanting to make scrappy looking curtains for my sewing room for quite some time. Now, I do have projects to catch up on, birthday gifts and, you know, things like that. But I thought, you know those mystery bags that Kimberly, there again from my fabric addiction, but Kimberly has these mystery grab bags. And in them, there'll be big pieces of fabric and smaller pieces of fabric. Now, do I have fabric that size? Of course I do. But new scraps are always fun scraps, and they sometimes can spark our creativity. You know, just something new. So I'm hoping that that will do that. I'm really thinking of just, you know, taking a mystery grab bag and then I don't even know if I'd square off the pieces, but either way, just connect them, big, small, medium, whatever, and then trim it down to a rectangle before I made, you know, the curtain the way you'd need to. Anyway, that was just a quick thing about that. And my third idea was to have more live streams where I'm just with you guys, because that might motivate me to get out more projects, you know, to just get them out and work on them. Okay, so those are my ideas, and I'm going to scroll back up in the chat really quickly and see what I missed. Let's see. Oh, Laura Supp is here. Good to see you. We're glad you're here. Let me see. A lot of people saying hi. And then Terry says, Marie, I do that. I sew things perfectly wrong all the time. Yeah, I know. But it's kind of embarrassing because it's one of those things we've done it 50,000 times, you know? Oh, well. And then Gisela says, Marie, you give me so much inspiration. Thank you. Well, I'm glad I can help you with that, Gisela. You're very welcome. June Hansen is here, and she says, good morning. Well, good morning to you. And then Terry verified that shorts can indeed be longer, and Lori said, yes, 3 minutes. And Terry has lost her sojo over the last few weeks. Yeah, it's really difficult sometimes to get it back. Oh, Giovanna says if it's over 1 minute, you can't use their music. Well, that's a bummer, but good to know. Thank you very much. Did I miss? Someone said hi to Laura Lynn. I must have missed her. Hello, hello. I gotta scroll back up because every time I scroll up, it comes down. Let me see. Georgina, hi Georgina. She says, hello Marie and fellow scrappers. Happy sewing. Well, happy sewing to you as well, Georgina. Glad you're here. And Peggy asks, are you? I am not. I kind of have given up on them because for me, the last time I went to one, and I know it was just the one, but it was in like a tin metal type building at the fairgrounds. It was so hot in there that I thought I was going to have heat stroke because it was just so hot. I was miserable, and there wasn't a big crowd. So that's when I came back and I sold online with you guys. I just had an online craft fair. So that's kind of what I did. But for me, because I have the neck issues and I can't really lift stuff, I have to have people help me in with my stuff and out with my stuff. And then by the time I've got it in there and set it up, and then you stand there all day, then you got to pack it all back up for the night. And sometimes they're 2-day craft fairs. It's a bit too much for me. So I've decided that I'm not. Plus, I'm so behind in my sewing that I haven't had time to make anything. So that's my honest answer, Peggy Leavitt. Thank you so much for the question. Okay. Terry says it was like a flea market, right, Marie? Well, kind of. They just had all of us crafters in this building. And, of course, you're sitting in the hot sun. You know, that building is in the hot sun, and metal, tin, whatever it's made out of, it was highly uncomfortable. Let's see, Gisela says, I have not lost, I am out of pre-cuts. Oh goodness. Georgina says she's making pieced ducks and applique fish for her cousin's quilt. That sounds adorable. Okay. Yeah, this morning I was trying to get all prepped for this as far as I had to restart my computer. I was trying to find out why it keeps glitching. My internet speed hasn't changed. I'm still hardwired directly from the modem, the router, whatever it is hardwired directly upstairs to this computer, so I'm not picking up you know, a signal. But either way, I'm not sure why that's doing it, but I was Googling and I was getting a little bit frustrated over that, as well as a few other things. And then I remembered I had this cute little chill pill. Remember this? The chill pill? I'm like, I need a chill pill sitting on my shoulder today. No, it's cute though. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm all right. So you can sit there and use this. My friend Pam gave it to me, and her daughter had made it, and I just think that is adorable packaging too. So she does these, they do them for craft fairs. So that, all right, I definitely need a chill pill today. Georgina says she will post when completed. Awesome, that's great. I did get on the Facebook group today and comment of them. I'm really going to make an effort to try, even though Facebook is not my favorite place to be. It has nothing to do with you guys. And again, I keep freezing at inopportune times. So, let me see. I'm still frozen on my screen. Yep, there I am. Okay. I'm going to give the creative word of the day, okay? So the creative word for today is bag. The reason I'm using the word bag is because I have made a lot of tutorials surrounding bags. Now, the one I am working on that was going to drop last weekend is not for a bag, but in general, and please in the comments, not here in the live chat, but in the comments, today, let me know if you're tired of bag tutorials or if you could stand a few more, because I have some ideas for bags and I thought if that's what gets my mojo going, maybe that would be a good thing to make and film for a tutorial. Yes, Lisa is saying Honor had the Sunflower Festival this weekend. She had many bags and things. That's right. I thought it was this coming weekend. Now I'm a terrible friend. I totally thought it was this coming weekend. Same thing I did with Mother's Day weekend. Thought it was the following. But I hope Honor did really well. I saw pictures, you guys. She had a lot of sunflower themed, you know, all the projects were, well, not all, but sunflower fabric and oh my land, gorgeous projects. So, I think I've mentioned to you guys before that we use Walmart delivery. We don't have a car, but generally if we go out, we take the bus, we do things like that. Oh, come on, stop freezing. But a lot of times it's just easier to place a Walmart order and they deliver it a few hours later and you don't have to go anywhere, okay? I said to my husband, I want a watermelon. But, I mean, I'm picky when I pick the watermelon. And, you know, I try to go by all the rules that they say. You know, look for one with a big spot on the bottom. That means it sat on the ground and it ripened. And make sure where the stem is, it's nice and brown. You know, there's all these rules. Now, who knows if they're right? But I always try. But I thought, like I said to him, if we order it that way, someone else is picking our watermelon and we have no choice, so we just have to hope. But we ordered it because we both wanted watermelon. To tell you guys, that's probably the best watermelon I have had in 4 or 5 years. Just perfect. Now the rind was a bit thick in places. I'm not gonna lie, it was thick in some places, but the watermelon wasn't pulpy. It had a perfect taste, just perfect, absolutely perfect. So I was so excited over a watermelon. But see, it goes to prove it's the little things in life. Okay, let's see. Giovanna says, today I washed the reds in the machine and now I have pink undies. Well, at least you didn't have to go out and buy them. You didn't have to go buy them. Terry says, yes, bags in different shapes, maybe, Marie. Well, that's an idea, absolutely. So Gisela says sorry. So she's re-quoting or retyping what she had meant above. I have not lost my sewing mojo, but I am out of pre-cuts and cannot cut more. I see, I gotcha. Giovanna says she likes bag tutorials, and Fern King as well. A quick project gets you going, sure. Terry's telling Gisela she hopes I hope your wrist heals quickly. Hang in there. Yes, absolutely. That's a rough one right there. Laura says she enjoys all my bag tutorials. Thank you, Laura. Gisela, love tutorials. Keep them coming. Okay. Lisa says, looking forward to new bag ideas, but the old bags are good to keep around. Yeah, I'm an old bag. I'm all right every once in a while. Thank you, Lisa. Hi, Valerie. Valerie says, good afternoon, Marie and friends. Love watching your new tutorial of your bag. Awesome. Hi, Judith. Judith is here, and she says it's hot and muggy and just got dark. Have to go check the radar. Yeah, you don't need a storm. Stay safe, Judith. All right, let's see. Giovanna says you can make jam out of the rind. I have heard that. I have never made it, but I have heard that. Gisela says, Terry, you are the most caring person. She is, isn't she? She's like, and she has a memory like a steel trap. Like, I might read, let's say Terry stubbed her toe and broke it, and I'll read that, and I'll feel bad, but 2 days later I've forgotten that happened. It's the type of memory. I don't hold on to things like that. So yes, she remembers, and she truly cares about all of her friends. She is sweet. I can tell you firsthand to anyone. I mean, I know you know, because that's why you wrote it. Terry says, I bought cut up watermelon and I didn't check the price until I got home. It was almost $7. Yikes, there's my watermelon for the summer. Yeah, pre-cut watermelon, it's more expensive than pre-cut fabric. See how I slipped that in there? Okay, let's see, Michelle the Quilter. Please make some bags with zippers. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of zippers. I've done the ones with, I did one bag with the zip top, the tote bag with the zip top. I did bags with, goodness, I'm frozen in an awkward position, of course. This is getting crazy, guys. I don't know how to fix it. But anyway, I have made bags with inner zipper pockets and things like that, but I will take that into account because most of the zippers that I have put in my bag tutorials have been small bags, like, you know, makeup size or stash bags, whatever you want to call them. That's what I call them, because you can stash anything from makeup, you know, to your medication or whatever in them. But thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that. Radar says thunderstorms arriving soon. Well, that's a good way to know, Judith. Fern says watermelons are grown in our area, so we buy ours at fruit stands. Oh, I bet that's great to get a fresh watermelon. Oh, was it June's birthday? How did I miss that? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Gisela says, Marie, the most important, take care of you and hubby. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, you know, sometimes that's what I'm doing, for sure. Okay. So, this morning, you know, if you get on YouTube, how the YouTube shorts come on and you click one and you scroll and you get another one. Well, I saw this one where the woman is, it's her husband's platform, okay? It's her husband's channel, although she is on it from time to time. But it showed her first, and she's doing laundry. And she's like, let's say her name was Marie. Marie does the laundry, and then it cuts to her husband playing a video game. And she'll say, and Marie does the cooking, and then it will cut to her husband sitting out in the garage or doing whatever, you know. And I got to thinking, now this is not the brush of a, you know, a broad stroke of a brush. It's not everyone, and I totally understand that. But I think so many times, although it is changing with the younger generation, But I think so many times that women are the ones who plan the meals, prep the meals, clean up after the meals, make sure the laundry's done. You know, they take on those roles, and I really don't think that most men are sitting there going, oh yeah, I'll just sit here. I think, at least for my generation and my experience, it has been, that's the way we grew up seeing. So, you know, you generally tend to do what you know, and that's just one of those things. But it was just kind of a funny video. And then it made me think about laundry when our kids were younger. And I know, I've told you guys, that between the two of us, we had a blended family with 8 children. When we met, we had 6 children under the age of 8, and then 2 teenagers to top it off. Because it's fun that way. But anyway, not everyone always lived with us at the same time, okay? But we had kids. There's no other way to splice it. We always usually had a house full. So laundry, as you can imagine, was a big deal in our house. Number one, when the kids were younger, I did not have a clothes dryer. Didn't want one. I had a huge clothesline, and I loved, winter was another thing, a whole other can of worms, as the saying goes. But in order to do the laundry and keep everyone kind of helpful in that area, their laundry had to be in the hamper. They couldn't put in balled up socks or jeans that one leg was in, one was out, or whatever, this and that. I didn't like it if they just, willy-nilly put the clothes in there and I had to straighten everything out before I washed it. That was time consuming to me, and I already had very little time. So I used to tell them, if you don't put it in there correctly, I'm not washing it. It's not getting done. And they learned really quickly, really quickly to fix it, because it's just more time. Because you're already looking at, does this have a stain on it that I need to pre-treat? Are there tissues in the pocket? Is there whatever? So I tried to start the kids young with, this is helpful to the person who's doing the work, or take a minute to think about the jobs that the other person's doing. So hopefully our boys grew up and were more helpful to their wives. I'm not saying my husband wasn't helping, not at all. I'm just saying I think in general that women tend to take on more of those responsibilities just because, I guess. Like for me, my husband doesn't cook, but he does other things. So it kind of offsets everything with us. Now, like earlier, I was getting a snack, and I fixed him a snack, and he was out at his computer desk, and I took it to him and served it to him right there. But the thing is he does the same thing for me. So it's not one-sided at all, like I might be cleaning up the kitchen, he's doing the laundry, so. But yeah, that video just made me think of, I think overall it's funny because we think of what our roles are, and sometimes we don't give it a whole lot of thought. We just do things, But let me see. I need to scroll back up and see what I've missed here. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome, June. Giovanna says, Marie, clean out your cache. I had to do that, too. I can try that. Will that wipe out? Ow, all my passwords. Well, that was a good way to freeze with my mouth open. Thank you, Giovanna. I will look into that. Audrey Nana Preps. Well, hello. She says, I finally made it to a live chat before it was over. Hi, Marie. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Well, before it freezes, I'll give you the little happy dance. We're so glad to have you here. Very happy. Oh, there's Helen. Hi, Helen. She says, have you made a snap bag with a measuring tape? That's a very good question. About 3 or 4 years ago, when they first started to be all over the internet, I tried one and I cut myself pretty badly on the tape, and I have been leery of them ever since. I was cutting it to the length that I needed, and I cut myself on that sharp edge before I had a chance to tape it. So I've been a bit leery of them, but good question. Thank you. Laura says, I'm very fortunate. My husband helps me all the time. He's actually become a great cook. Well, that is awesome. Like I said, my husband helps me a lot. He doesn't cook. It's just not his thing, but he does other things, so I call it good. I think it's good. Let's see. Giovanna says, my mom didn't look at gender for chores. You did everything, boy or girl. See, they raised our kids. It didn't matter. I tried to fit that in there. I guess I forgot that part. But yeah, so they had to like get their laundry right side out. They had to do this and that. And everyone was responsible. So, if we had a chart and it would be, let's say child A did wash the dishes, child B dried the dishes, and child C did the sweeping up or putting the food away or whatever. And we'd switch them or switch them around on the schedule, because I never wanted them to grow up thinking that there were only certain jobs that they should or could do. I wanted them to know how to do it, So, but that's very good, Giovanna. Okay, let's see. Terry says, oh, Marie, the jeans with the belt on them in the hamper. Oh, please. That made me pull my hair out. No, it's stuff like that, though, Terry. Absolutely, absolutely. Laura says, Giovanna, my dad definitely believes in gender rules, but he's 86 and not going to change. Yeah, see, it's generational, and I think, I was born in 64, and I grew up, my dad would come home and my mom did this or that or whatever, and everybody had their role. And I think it was like that with many people, And the other thing that drives me crazy, I was just talking with a friend about it today. She had been talking to a friend of hers, and she said, well, she's upset because they brought over her granddaughter again for her to watch, which she doesn't mind that. What angers her is the dad will not watch the toddler. He calls it babysitting. He said, I don't have time to babysit. That's what grandparents are for. No. See, because I went through this once before with my ex, okay? When you have children, they're your children. It's not babysitting when I watch them. It's not babysitting when you watch them. They're your child. That really, we won't even go down that path, but that's another one. Giovanna says, Laura, he doesn't help you. He does his part as a partner. You work together. And that is exactly right. Exactly. Gisela said she had 4 kids. Yeah, I tell you, busy. Yes, and Laura says, yes, we work as a team. Let's see. It's scrolling on past me here really quickly. So every time I try to scroll, it's freezing my page, and it's really frozen right now. And Jill is here. Hi, Jill. Oh, you're fine. We're not quite done. We haven't even done the drawings yet. Giovanna says, that's what my mom did, even if we did help in the house. I guess I probably missed the beginning of that because I can't scroll back up. And Patty says she's starting a new bag today. It's a free pattern from the Quilted Twins manufacturer freebie page. It's called the Medley Bag. Well, I will check that out. Thank you for letting us know that. The Medley Bag. All right. She said it's a great scrap buster. And Giovanna says, in the old days, women stayed home and did the housework. That's right, but so many things have changed, and it really has. And even when women are home, the jobs have changed, because now you're running kids to soccer and this and that. And I don't know about you guys, but in our area, kids don't even get the school bus anymore. You got parents carting them to and from schools and waiting in long lines. But I have an opinion about that too, but I won't say it. All right, Valerie says, my husband helps me with everything but the laundry. I refuse to let him touch my clothes. Taught my son to do laundry, and he's been doing it since he was 15. Both my husband and son are good cooks. That's awesome, Valerie. Absolutely. Thank you, Terry, for dropping the link for the medley bag. I appreciate it. Okay, I mentioned last week that my mom and I were going to get together and go to Mending's, and we were going to try to go on Thursday, but it didn't happen. So we haven't gone yet. Just putting that in there, so if you wonder if it happened, it did not, but we will get there. Okay, before I go any further, we'll do our drawings. Because we're going to draw for the free fabric from myfabricaddiction.com, as well as the comment of the week, and that person wins a fabric postcard. And there's something I need to make, and I could just sit and chat with you guys while I make them, but I'm getting low on fabric postcards. So one more thing about food and prep and all this and that. I don't buy a lot of what I call prefab foods. I try not to, okay? And sometimes it's necessary, but I don't normally buy this. I've never bought this product before. I'm going to start by saying that my husband is not a fan of fish, but I am. Like, I love haddock and tuna fish, and I love it all. But anyway, he will eat a fillet of fish from McDonald's, and he loves them. He will eat fish sticks on occasion, and they have to have tartar sauce and this and that. So I bought, on a whim, some Gorton's. It just shows on the package a square breaded fillet. Excuse me. And I have the hamburger buns. So for lunch today, after this live stream, we are going to have filet of fish sandwiches, homemade by me. So earlier today, I Googled how to make a replica of a McDonald's filet of fish sandwich. And when you scroll down through, you'll see like little blippets. Before you click, you'll see part of what they're telling you. Well, it was telling me that for the sauce I needed capers. No, I don't. I can tell you that's a resounding absolutely not happening. Now, have I ever tried capers? No, I have not. But the thought is beyond repulsive to me. I cannot go there. I can't do it. I would imagine that we're going to have it with tartar sauce, which I always make homemade. Well, homemade. I'm mixing mayonnaise and relish. It's really difficult for me. But anyway, that's what we're going to have for lunch. So, okay, Giovanna says, it seems like I am moving from one mic to another today. That's odd. No, it's just sitting there, but it's got something to do with this glitching, and apparently if I can't fix it, I'm going to have to start streaming using my phone, which I really, really don't want to do because I don't know how to put the link out ahead of time using my phone. Everything is different. But we can't continue with the glitching, but thank you for letting me know. Barb says she'll have to catch up with the replay. It all of a sudden phone call central around here. People concerned about my hubby, so I can't complain. You take care, Barb. I hope he continues to get well, but make sure you get some rest too. Don't forget about yourself. Terry said she used to love the filet of fish sandwiches from Mcd's. I'm trying to scroll back if it will let me. And we want a video of Martin's. Absolutely, Giovanna. Let's see. They use tartar sauce. That's what I thought, tartar sauce. Let's see. Michelle is thanking for the link. Terry says, I've never heard of putting capers in there. Well, me either, and it's not going to happen. I can guarantee you. Okay, so I'm going to note that when I sent Kimberly the winner, you know, like the name and address of the winner from last Wednesday, I said to her, the reason I haven't had any new names is people aren't coming forward. So there was a week I didn't have a live stream, but there's been a few people miss out on their fabric prizes. So they play the game and leave the comment, but please, if you want to win, you have 7 days to claim your prize, but you need to check your YouTube, I go to say the word, it's not comments, it's, why can't I think of that? Notifications. There we go. You need to check your YouTube notifications because I always, as soon as this live stream is over, I go to the winning comment for whatever prize and I type in there and say, congratulations, your name was drawn today, you know, June 18th, for the postcard or for the fabric, and this is what you need to do. So I always notify people. All right. Let's see. Katie Crafts. Capers at McDonald's, I doubt they use them. They're flower buds, and I can't scroll back up. Yeah, I don't think they use them either. I think it was someone's idea of their version, because I agree with you. Hi, Deb S., the Pug Mama Quilter. Good to see you here. Oh, Kathy's got to run. Thank you for hanging out with us, Kathy. Appreciate it. All right, so we are going to do the drawings. So first, let's do the drawing for the fabric, okay? Now, I had to find, because it wouldn't work, usually I use, I think it's called Comment Shark or something, and then I just click and boom, it brings up the winner from the entries. So I'm going to hope that this one works okay, because I had to use a different site because when I went to Comment Shark, it wouldn't load. That was earlier before the live. Okay, let's see. We're going to do the fabric first, and I apologize. I hope that when my screen freezes that my voice still goes on so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Hi, Laura Lynn. There's Laura Lynn from the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. She says, hey, cool kids. Hey, you're even cooler. Thank you for dropping by. Hi, Lisa Stevens. She says it's 80 in North Carolina. Wowzers. Glad you're here. Okay. Well, there, our winner for the fabric for today was actually here earlier. It's Melanie Taylor. And she said, this seriously hasn't been the best month for me, but I have a lot of sewing time. I've had a lot of contact with my fabric, which is always, sorry, this app cut it off. What else? Your comment was, Melanie, but congratulations. I'm going to screenshot that. She wins the fabric from myfabricaddiction.com. Thank you, Kimberly. So what's going to happen, Melanie, is I will go to your winning comment. I will congratulate you. I'll tell you my email address and how to contact me with your information. I will then forward it along to Kimberly, who will get that package out to you just as soon as possible. So congratulations. Oh, she's still here. She says, I'm here. Well, congratulations, Melanie. Okay, so now we need to find a winner for the weekly fabric postcard giveaway, and that contest is called the Comment of the Week. So I'm going to click that. Like I said, I'm not used to this app. Melanie says thanks. Thanks, y'all, and Kimberly. Yes, absolutely. You are welcome. And I know Kimberly gets into this just as much as I do and you guys do. She is such a kind-hearted and giving person. Okay, we have a winner. And again, I cannot read the whole comment from here. The month of June has been so busy for me so far. I sew with all different fabrics at my job. I use an industrial sewing machine and use sunbrella fabric. That's all I can read. But the winner of the weekly poetry for comment of the week is Irish Sail Lady. I hope you can see. Irish Sail Lady 1. So congratulations, Irish. That's a tongue twister. Irish Sail Lady. We'll call you Irish. How's that? Congratulations to both of our winners. And you know, when we were talking about laundry and such, I forgot one of my pet peeves from way back then. I know it happened with science reports and book reports that right before bedtime we'd get this, I have a test tomorrow I need to study, can you ask me questions? Or, I have a book report due tomorrow and it's second period and I haven't started it yet. You know, meanwhile they'd been playing games or doing whatever and telling me their homework was all done earlier on in the evening. But the biggest one, even over and above the book report or whatever, it would be, let's see if any of you heard this. We have a soccer game in the morning and my uniform needs to be washed. Oh, well, thank you. You know, it's 8. I'm going to be really happy to do this. Oh, yeah, and it's got grass stains and I ripped it the last time I wore it, so can you sew that too? What? So it seems like there were always times where they left it in their book bag and forgot to put it in the laundry. That was a huge one. There was a lot of forgetting the uniform in the book bag kind of thing going on. But that would make me crazy because I had to stay up to wash it and then hang it to dry or whatever. So, yeah, that was another one. Melanie says, thanks, everyone. What a shock. Well, it's a good shock. Oh, Terry says, Marie, Irish Sail Lady is Linda. Okay, thank you. See, Terry knows everyone. I'm going to write that down because I will forget. Well, congratulations, Linda. Okay, so I said at the beginning, or towards the beginning, that I had a question that I wanted to ask you guys. It's getting really warm in here, and no, I still haven't got my hair cut, and that's another story, but we won't go into that today. Giovanna says, my hand. Okay. Terry says, yep, emergency laundry. What am I, a magician? She says, I had no dryer either. Okay. So, I was chatting with a friend and I said, I need to get back in the sewing room. I have so many projects to catch up on and things like that. I said, but I also have 2 sheets that I need to work on. She said, what do you mean work on sheets? And I said, well, one has a small rip in it, spelled like that. I said, one has a small rip in it, so I need to sew that. I said, but one needs a little patch. And she goes, why don't you just throw them away and buy new ones? Hi, Honor. Hi. She's been busy with all her kiddos. That's fine, sweetheart. No worries at all. Giovanna's, is it daughter? I'm sorry. Her final exam to get her diploma. Well, congratulations. Yay, yay. Oh, Zaza's here, the inappropriate quilter. Glad to see you. Okay, let me see. Where was I? So I said I don't want to buy new ones. If I wanted to, I would, but these are sheets that I especially like. You know when you find some that the flannel is perfect, or if they're just regular cotton, they are just perfect sheet. Oh, Honor, thank you so much for the super chat. That's only the second one I've ever gotten. Thank you so much. You're sweet. She did a $9.99 super chat, and it says #1 fan. Well, you are so sweet. And I was going to pin that, but it will not let me pin it, so I guess I won't pin it. I guess I don't know as much as I thought I knew about stuff like that. That should come as no surprise to anyone around here, that I'm not as technically savvy as I could be. So anyway, I sew sheets. I have a few sheets that have little square patches on them or something like that. So am I the only one who will patch a household thing instead of buying a new one? Because to me, if I like the thread count, or I just like the whatever, the sheet, I want to keep it. Now, I might not put a patch in that's exactly the same thing, but it's really close, because, you know, we all have so much fabric to choose from. Honor says it looks pinned at the top. Do you mean yours? Because maybe I have to unpin mine to get yours to go up there. I don't know. But thank you so much. I'm having a problem with scrolling back up. So Giovanna says she also patches her sheets, and June says she patches hers. Yeah, there's two. So if you watch this later on, please let me know in the comments section. Is it just me? I mean, I know I'm cheap, frugal, whatever you want to call it. You know, make do or go without. That's why I'm a scrap lover. I seriously, you know. So Honor says, I see my face at the top. Oh, I see it up there, but it doesn't show much. It just shows your face in it. But it is next to it. It's some kind of symbol. But thank you so much. You made my day. Giovanna says, why throw them out for a small hole? That's it. Absolutely. Audrey says, I'm 79, and yes, I patch a lot of things. See? Absolutely. I still patch my husband's jeans. You know, I do. Terry patches, and Georgina said she does. Laura Supp says, I patch and mend a lot of things. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, there is no right or wrong. I'm not looking to say that this friend is wrong for not doing it. I'm just saying, the way it was said was like, my land, I'm the only one doing it, and I couldn't imagine that. Lisa says she's a patcher. Wouldn't want to be a patcher to be a patcher. Sorry, I can't sing. I don't know why I even try. But patching sheets, yes. Capers on fish sandwiches, no. I'm so glad. Zaza says, I will mend things, but usually the sheets are wearing thin, so I won't patch them, but I'll use the fabric. Oh, yes, yeah, there's another turnaround. Yeah, and I should have stated that too. I'm talking about sheets that aren't worn out. They just, you know, had a mishap or something, you know. Terry says, my mom used to make handkerchiefs out of old I know she says, or means sheets, not seats, but I gotcha. That's a good thing. Yes, a good one, Terry. Giovanna says, if you click on the face on the top, it will get bigger for a few seconds. Well, there. And Lisa loves capers, so she might like the fish sandwiches done that way. Michelle the quilter says she patches and mends things. Well, see, we're just an exclusive group. That's what we are. We're special. So, I'm not going to promise, but I am going to try to finish the tutorial that I've got mostly done for, I'm not even going to say what day. When I get it ready, I'll drop it. Otherwise, I am going to try to do some more sewing chats. I need to figure out what's going on with this glitching and stuff. I think it has to do with OBS Studio. Today's video is sponsored by, no, but I really think it must have to do with OBS Studio, because it will come on and tell me that the bit rate or something. So I looked up a video this morning and it told me to go in there and change it, and it showed me how, and I went in there to do what they showed me, but it didn't look exactly the same, so then I didn't dare to touch it. So there was that. Okay, let's see. Making those hankies is how we learn to hem things on the sewing machine. Well, what a great idea. That's awesome. Terry says, during COVID, I bought cotton sheets to make hundreds of masks. Well, there's a smart lady. It's a great idea for them. Lisa said she had the capers in a pasta dish years ago and was hooked. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I have never tried them. I just think that they don't sound good, but, you know. Oh, my goodness. Melanie says, my mom would darn our socks. She put a light bulb in the sock. Scary, a thin light bulb to me, but that's a great idea for making the sock the correct shape. Absolutely. And yeah, my mom always mended socks. The only socks I mended or still do mend are if they're like a straight cut or a favorite pair of socks, or if they're some of my hand knit socks. I will fix those as well, because there's too much time in those. Honor says, I used a billion fat quarters I had on hand. I must have missed something. I apologize. All right, let's see. Michelle says, me too, Honor. Didn't have to buy any fabric. Yeah, that's always good. Terry says, Melanie, I have a sock darner like my mom had. It's made of wood. Yeah, I've seen those, or heard of them. Maybe I've seen them. Zaza says, I like capers. That's what's in tartar sauce that's served with fish. Well, you must have missed our conversation. That's exactly how I got talking about capers, was because we're going to have fish sandwiches for lunch, and I Googled how to make a replica of a McDonald's fish sandwich, and it told me that there were capers in it, and I didn't think that the palates of McDonald's were eating capers, like, you know, a 10-year-old kid or something, but I could be wrong. All right, let's see. Terry says, capers are little olives, Marie. Well, if they taste anything like olives, I couldn't do that either, but thank you. Melanie says, hand knit sounds nice and warm. Yes, and I need to get some put on my needles. I love to knit. Okay, well, thank you guys for sticking around, and we discussed mending sheets or mending most anything. Oh, I do have one more thing. I didn't receive any Happy Mail, but remember I told you I ordered the sandals the same as I had last year? Okay, so now I ordered from Amazon. And I saw some on there before I ordered that looked exactly like the pair I ordered last year, only they had a different brand name on it, you know, and it's a Chinese name or something, you know, something that comes from another country that I'd never heard of the brand name. All right, so I thought, no, I'm just going to go back and order the same ones I did last year. So I went to my order, search for sandals. I found the ones. I clicked on them. I ordered the exact same sandals in the exact same size as last year. Okay, now while my screen is frozen, I'll take this off here and show you. This is what came in. Okay, this is what the knockoff Birkenstocks, and I noticed that the name on them was different. So I went back to Amazon where I had clicked before, and sure enough, it didn't say this name. I can't tell you what it was. I don't remember, but it said a different name. Now, I had ordered up. I normally take an 8.5, but last year I had to have a 9. So that's what I ordered in these, was a 9. Even tightening these things are huge on me. So they're going back. I still don't have any sandals to wear. Well, I have my old ones, but what I'm saying is, for all the effort I've put forth on trying to get a new pair of sandals, I still haven't gotten anywhere yet. All right. Audrey says, I love capers and use in chicken pasta dishes. Well, I might try them, but I know I'm not a fan of olives, so I don't. And you guys can laugh. I thought capers were like, not fish eyes, but I thought they were fish something or other, so I'm glad that they're not. Terry says, they remind me of olives. I have my I can't pronounce it. I know the Italian, I should be able to, but caponata recipe that uses them. Oh, and it's scrolling on. I love. Could be a men's 9. Possibly. I never thought about that. Honor says capers are actually like olives in the fact that they are brined. They are little flower buds. Well, there. I don't know how to pronounce that, Melanie. I'll let you. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and with all of our scrappy friends here. Terry says, Dad's eggplant appetizer. There you go. Okay. So, this has been really fun. I'm so glad I felt well enough today to do this because the last few days, seriously, my stomach had been giving me terrible issues. Like, I was not well at all. But felt better today, and like I said, sometimes a different medication can make the world of difference. So, Melanie says, I'm yelling it. I can't hear you. Did you lose your voice when you won the prize? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Sorry for the glitching. I am going to see what I can do to work on that. But until next time, just have fun, grab some scraps. I am going to go check out all the chat that I'm missing here in just a moment, and then I'm going to reach out to our winners. So again, you have 7 days to claim your prize. I'll give you my email address for getting a hold of me. Please check out the links in the description box today. Okay, everyone, you're welcome, and I will read everything, I promise. Until next time, remember, be kind out there. The world needs more of that. Okay? Take care. I'll see you next time right here in Marie's Scrappy Creations. Bye-bye.